Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 3 on the Series X, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 2-4. It is entitled Trench Run. So at the beginning here, you just want to follow your teammates, and I don't think they can fall down here. But this chapter is a fairly straightforward chapter. It does have a boss fight on it, but it's a very fair boss fight, and it has a multitude of checkpoints. So there's probably not much that's going to trouble you on this section here. I really like the next chapter, but just the first half of it. I like the look of it, and I like the first fight, but the the fight with the Theron guards and the barge that's shooting at you, I definitely I hate that, as most people do. But we can talk about it because it's unfortunately it comes down to luck a lot. And I've been using the hammer burst a lot on this walkthrough because I really like aiming in with the iron sights, but I don't think it deals more damage than the Lancer does. So aside from this feature here, you're just always reloading with this gun, and it's kind of a shame that I think it should deal more damage than the Lancer does, because it has those things going against it, like the small clip size. I've just always felt that way. So the ticker area is it can be problematic, but it's really not as bad as the next chapter at the end of it. No, I haven't done it yet, but because I record these walkthroughs in stages. But I do remember kind of hating it, and it will be a part where I give my teammates some different weapons, probably, just because there's so much there's so many weapons available on the next stage. So many boom shots and torque bows. Might as well tip the scales in your favor as much as you possibly can, is my opinion. I mean, in the end, it comes down to you, not your teammates, but who knows? It could help. So in this area, we've got a fight that is not very long at all. You're gonna have a digger in here, as well as some more standard drones. There he is here. This fight, the fights that I really like, they end fast, and then the ones that you hate, they're they're the ones that you constantly die over and get really upset about. So we have a digger in here. There's a Gorgon pistol in here. What do you want to carry into the next stage? I probably I would grab the boom shot on your way out of this stage. Would be a good idea. Keep the Gorgon pistol. The Gorgon pistol is really good. But in this area over here, you've got tickers that you can use to kill the enemies. Just be careful as you're crossing. You don't want to have any tickers in these contraptions. You can go left or right, doesn't matter at first. But when you get to the other side, you're really vulnerable. So there's a path that I like to go down over here. Once we do cross. I hate when they throw smoke. I never throw smokes. They throw smokes all the time. I can't see anything. But there's there's a area down below where there's a half open door, and there are some tickers. There's about 4 tickers in that room. This room down there that I'm aiming at right now, and they'll start coming out when you get over to this point. There's about 4 or 5. So if you do go down there, you have the safety of the ceiling, and you won't get. Hopefully, you won't get killed by any tickers swinging above. So once you do get over here, you're going to spawn more enemies. And if you stay up there, you're just risking a lot. Here's one of the final ones over here. Those tickers. But there's some nice safety down here. You've got a ceiling over here that can protect you. And as you advance, you're going to be dealing. I think there's another digger that's coming up over here. But this is a very dangerous area over here, because I have a bunch of enemies, and you've got the threat of the tickers. So you really you need to make very incremental progress over here and just clear everybody up before you cross over there. And for all the crummy parts in this chapter, I do have to say that since we are playing at such a nice frame rate, we have every advantage. So we have there's nothing to complain about as far as the frame rate. It's fantastic. You know, I think this game originally was in 720p and 30 frames per second. So the fact that we're in 4K, admittedly it's upscaled, but and 60 frames per second. Now I am filtering this through software, so it does take a little bit of a hit. And I also noticed that you can play in 120 hertz, but it knocks the frame rate down to 140, which it is in the first place. But I do like having to go to 4K and 60. So you have a corpse turret here, and then enemies that are going to spawn through a door after you kill this one. So I probably am going to tag a few grenades to the ground over here to greet them with. There's more incendiary grenades coming up too. The incendiary grenades are so fantastic. I really like them. So you just need to be careful. You do not get a checkpoint after you kill this thing. And also, when you're evading this thing, just like when you're doing the boss in this chapter, the best thing is not to roll. It's you want to do that quick turn. When you're doing the roadie run, you want to hold the analog in the opposite direction and continue to hold the A button. And that is actually a faster way of getting away from potentially that stab that they do. So when you come in here, just remember there's no checkpoint and don't do this kind of foolishness. Anyway, yeah, everybody's dead. Grab some more. Enemies dropping grenades is pretty handy. But there should be some more grenades in here. All you need for the boss is the Retrolancer or whatever you want. There's a Lancer. I mean, go for the Lancer if you want that. The Retrolancer just works really well. It's very high damaging. And yeah, you're going to be sacrificing accuracy. So if you don't want that, you know your teammates probably have a Lancer. And like I said, I am going to be grabbing the boom shot on my way out of here. And I'm always surprised at how many checkpoints this boss fight gives you. So you have a couple of corpsers. None of them are armored though, so you don't have to worry about that. And I do recall dying one time over here. I was trying to not have to do any edits over here to make it really clean, but something unfortunately happened. So there's some hatchlings to kill over here. There's a pile of ammunition over in the right side of the room with a retro lancer. The boom shot is near the door that you go through at the end, where the boss spawns. And the bayonet charge works really well to kill the hatchlings. The chainsaw melee, instant melee attack is good too. It'll work, but you are going to be pretty vulnerable. Sometimes shit does fall from the ceiling, but it's pretty fair. And you generally don't have to fight anything else while you're fighting the big spider. Here's the boom shot. So I want to checkpoint myself having it at least. And this is not mandatory at all. I just wanted to have it as we start the next chapter because I was thinking about spawn killing some enemies with it, with Theron guards. So you're just going to be shooting it at its eyes, and every time you destroy one, it's going to withdraw, shield itself, and you'll be fighting some more corpsers, and they get bigger, but none of them are armored. And the retro lancer is really handy because it takes care of them very fast. And again, there's a distinct sound effect. You probably know what it is. That shooting up from the ground sound effect. That's the one that you want to listen for when you're dodging, because that means that they've stopped fooling around doing that claw attack from the ground, and they're going to come up and actually fight you. So that's just what I listen for. Okay, so we've got some more hatchlings over here. I just use whatever I can. As far as the bayonet charge and the retro lancer, it's a really good combination. These things have kind of a high amount of HP, these larger ones, but again, that quick turn is much more helpful. And I think rolling is, you're just too vulnerable when you do the roll. You should have omnidirectional roll on, unless you really have a aversion to it. It's a nice feature that they implemented. I think the second one did not have that. The second game. So we're going to be continually shooting its eyes, and it's a pretty nerve-wracking fight because spiders I just don't like in the first place. So it's a really creepy fight. But it's very fair. I wish the final boss was this fair. Because if you're fast enough and you're killing the smaller creatures, you shouldn't have to fight it, because it will go to the other side of the room and it will wait until you're done. So I like that. I never like fighting a main boss and having to fight other things with it. That's one of my most hated things in all video games. I just hate it. And like I said, the boss is going to wait for you, so just take your time, be as accurate as you can, be as evasive as you can. Keep restocking your ammo. Keep nailing those actives. And just be mindful of where the boss is now, because that's going to be the area that you're going to run out of. And there's no problem about running out of it either, leaving the room, unless you had no idea of what was going on. There's an edit. I think I died right there. But now we're going to be shooting the remainder of his eyes here. This is a great weapon too. Okay, so we've blinded him. He's going to withdraw, and now we're going to restock on ammo. And then for the fight at the end of the next chapter, you're going to have plenty of weapons to choose from. What I would recommend is the boom shot and the torque bow. And incendiary grenades would be a good choice. And the Gorgon pistol, but I think you have to carry that into the next chapter. See, I took almost critical damage there, but that was my fault for sprinting too late. And we got a bad gun jam there. Okay, we got one corpser kind of stuck next to the boss over there. We're gonna finish it off, and then we should just have one more phase left over here. There we go. Sometimes the boss, when you're going for the boom shot, it kind of hovers over the boom shot and prevents you from getting it, but there's plenty of opportunities to get it. Another checkpoint. There's like 4 checkpoints on this boss. Incredible. Now it's overly focusing on my teammates, and I'm trying to get in front of it. Keep nailing its eyes. I like to leave with maxed out ammo, so I like to just do that before I leave, take the boom shot, and then just clear on out of there. You get 15 seconds at the end to leave the room. And like I say, all you need is a retro lantern for this fight. It's really good. And even if you started the next chapter from scratch, it's perfectly fine too. Here you go. So you should almost be dead. But that's a fight that you definitely should not have any problems with because of the overall fairness of it. It's a great fight. I don't particularly like it, but I like the fact that it's fair. I always like that. How could you not? And the stuff that falls from the ceiling, occasionally you get hit by. I've never got killed to it. And when you run out of the room, it doesn't even matter if he hits you. You go right through him, and it's perfectly fine. So I will see you in the next chapter, and until then, please take care.